Hey, what's good, people? This your boy Cincy, aka Mr. Good Vibes, and welcome back to my YouTube channel. How's everything going? How's your trading? How is life in 2025? My prayer is that the Lord Almighty will continue to protect and guide you as this year goes on in the mighty name of Jesus. Now, with that being said, so it's good to be back again. Took quite a little bit of break because I needed it. Sometimes life just gotta take that break, man. You don't necessarily have to always trade. And also, I was waiting for the inauguration to be over in order for me to see what exactly the market is going. Now, this year is going to be very, very interesting. As we all know, the president elect, Mr. Donald Trump, was inaugurated today and is officially the president of the United States. And with Trump comes a lot of volatility in the market. So this year is going to be definitely interesting. So with that being said, today I just want to quickly look at some of the quick market updates and some of the indexes which I typically use to see what direction the market has been. So before I went on my little break, I was actually looking at the market, and the market looked pretty bearish, which means there was quite a lot of sell-offs prior to the inauguration. But couple of days before the inauguration, we started seeing the bulls making a good fight back and fighting the BS. So today I'm just going to go through my major indexes, my XPX 500 especially, and I'm going to be showing you guys how I typically do my analysis on this, which is my top-down analysis, whereby I take a look at the weekly chart, look at what my indicators are saying, and also take a look at the daily chart, look at what the same indicators are saying, and see whether it's bullish or bearish by summing up all these indicators together in an Excel sheet and seeing what direction I think the market is going to be going. Now, just bear with me and just follow me. It's very, very easy. So, as you guys can see currently on the chart, I'm looking at the XPX chart. And for those of you who have been following me, I typically look at a couple of things. And the first things are my primary indicators. My primary indicators normally are on the chart, and the secondary ones would go below the chart, as you can see on the diagram on the chart right now. So let's quickly just go take a look at the chart real quick. So you can see my primary indicators are my ASGMA signature or indicator and my SSL indicator in this case. So you can see that currently it's telling me it's a B sign and a green arrow. So the B sign here represents a buy, and the green arrow represents the direction is going to the upside. So this is telling me that the market is going to be bullish in the next future, right? Or as we go down into the future. Now, if it was going to be a S sign or a red arrow, then it's going to be more of a sell, which means the market would be coming down. So the fact that we got this signal on my primary indicators, you can see that the market has actually been going on for some time. And as a matter of fact, we fell as low as 5,778. You can see now the market or the XPX 500 is back to 6,011. Now, with that being said, I actually had my trend line, which I drew, and my trend line is a point where I was seeing a lot of retracements prior to the inauguration. So you can see every time we tend to hit this trend line, there was always a pullback. We hit the trend line, there was always a pullback. So we're forming lower lows in this case. So the market was looking pretty bullish, but all of a sudden, prior to the inauguration, you can see that the market starts to go up, and now we've broken that trend line. And now this is confirming more of a bullish trend. But that's not the only thing we take a look at. We also take a look at the secondary indicators. So just because this has told us this is a bullish and the arrow is going up, we also want to take a look at the secondary indicator. So what I typically do is I come down to my Excel and I want to make notes of the signals that we are seeing. So for the ASGMA, like I said, so for those of you who don't know, this is the ASGMA signal right here, this B sign, and this SSL is this green arrow. So you can see on my Excel, I have a clean slate. So I have indicators for daily. This D represents daily, and the green and the red side represents what my indicators are saying. So if I mark it on the green side, and that means it's a buy indicator, or if I mark it on the red side, and that means it's more of a sell indicator or a bearish indicator. So you can see I have both daily and I have both weekly, and it's the same indicator. So we're going to access or we're going to analyze all these indicators on the chart and start to give them this score. And at the end of the day, we're going to sum up the total And if I'm getting more of the green side, then that's going to be more of a bearish, so more of a bullish signal for the market. But if I'm getting more of the red side, then that's going to be more of a bearish indicator or a sell signal for the market. So let's start by taking a look at it. So like I said, the ASGMA and the SSL are these two. So you can see we have a buy and a green arrow. So I'm simply just going to come to my Excel and mark this 1 and 1 on the bullish side. Hope that is making sense. The next thing is my Ichimoku. So my Ichimoku is typically my cloud. And I'm going to switch that on real quick. So I switched off my Ichimoku. So you can see that's my ASGMA SSL. So you can see Ichimoku. So you can see for my Ichimoku, I can see that the price is now beginning to go. It's actually in the Ichimoku. So for now, what I normally do whenever I see that, it's more of a neutral sign. I would divide this and give both the bullish and the bearish signal same score just to kind of even things out. Now we want to look at the baseline. The baseline is my moving average that kind of tells me what direction that the market is going. So if the price is above the baseline, then that is more of a bullish signal or buy signal. But if the price is below the baseline, then that's going to be more of a sell or a bearish signal. So let's take a look at the baseline real quick and see what the baseline is currently doing. So you can see this is my baseline, this green line. So you can see that the price is currently above the baseline. So that's definitely a bullish signal. So I simply come to my Excel and I just mark the baseline as 1. Now, anything after this, below this are all my secondary indicators or the indicators that tend to be below the chart. So if I go back to the chart and I zoom out a bit, you can see that below are my secondary indicators, right? So you already get the gist of my secondary indicators. So we want to take a look at the first one. The first one is the SMI. And you can see the SMI, it's very, very simple to read. It's a 2-line cross. And whenever you see the green above the red, that is definitely a bullish or a buy signal. But also notice that there's a yellow line right here. So this yellow line is the 0 line. So if you see these signals above the yellow line, that is also indicating a bullish or buy indicator. So I simply come to my Excel. In this case, you can see I have SMI1 and SMI2. So that stands for true interpretation. So I'm going to mark the fact that the 2 crossover, the green is above the red. I'm going to mark it as 1. And the fact that those 2 signal lines are above 0, I'm going to mark the SMI2 as 1 as well. Hope that is making sense. So let's quickly just go over that again. So you can see if it's green above the red, that is bullish. Or if it was a red above the green, then that's going to be more of a bearish signal. And the fact that I'm above this 0 line is also indicating a bullish signal for the XPX 500. So let's minimize this and take a look at the second indicator, which is my DD. So my DD, you can see the line is above my 0 line. So the signal line is above my 0 line. That is always a bullish or buy indicator. In a situation where the signal line is below the 0 line or the white line, then that's going to be more of a bearish indicator or a sell indicator in this case. So if I go back to my Excel, I simply just come to my DD and mark my DD1 on the bullish side, right? The next thing is the MACD 1 and MACD 2. So the MACD 1 and MACD 2 is kind of like a similar interpretation to the SMI. And if I come down to my chart one more time and I minimize this, and below the DD is my MACD, I'm going to expand this, and it's very simple. And then whenever you go from a red color to a green color, that is a buy signal, right? And if you go from green to red, then that's going to be more of a sell signal. So you can see currently we went from red to green, that's a buy. Now notice another thing. This bar is now above this 0 line. So that is 2 things that we are seeing, 2 bullish signals. So not only that I'm getting a green bar, I'm also seeing the bar above my 0 line. So because of that, I simply come back to my Excel and I'm just going to mark the MACD1 as 1 on the bullish side and give the MACD2 another 1 on the bullish side. Now the next thing is my TSI. Go back to my TSI. I simply just minimize this, and the TSI is right below the MACD, and that is the TSI. The TSI is very simple to read. It's a 0 line one more time and a signal line. If the signal line is above 0, then that is a bullish signal. But if it's below 0 in this case, then that's going to be more of a bearish signal. So you can see the current signal is above 0. So I simply just come down to my Excel one more time and mark the TSI as 1 on the bullish side. Then I also have the ACH, which is the next indicator, and the ACH is the one directly below it. So I'm going to minimize this one more time. And this is the ACH. So the ACH is a two-line cross and it's very, very simple. If the red is above the green, then that is more of a sell or bearish signal. But if the green is above the red, then that is more of a buy or a bullish signal, which is what we currently see on the chart. So this is a bullish signal or a buy signal. And I simply just come to my Excel one more time and mark this ASH as 1. So you can see currently we are 11 to 1, which means 11 on the bullish side and only 1 for the bearish side. So now we've finished up the analysis on the daily. The next thing we want to take a look at is the weekly. So again, I go back to my chart and I'm going to zoom out a bit. And you can see I have a D, which represents daily, and I also have a W, which represents weekly. You can also look at a 4-hour chart or a 30 minutes chart, 15 minutes, or 5 minutes, depending on what interval suits you. So I'm going to go to weekly this time around and do exactly the same thing that we did for the daily. So you can see on the weekly chart, what do we see? So currently on the weekly chart, we are seeing a red arrow and the S sign as the current signature. So we don't have the typical B and green arrow that we saw on the daily. So the most current ones are these two bearish signs. So I simply just come to my Excel and I'm just going to mark the weekly as 1 on the bearish side for ASGMA and 1 on the bearish side for the SSL. The next thing is the Ichimoku. What is the Ichimoku telling us? So you can see this is the price. If the price is above the Ichimoku, then that's more of a bullish signal. Or if the price is below the Ichimoku, then that's more of a bearish signal. So you can see in this case, the price is actually clearly above the Ichimoku, unlike the daily where the price was inside the Ichimoku. So the fact that it's above the Ichimoku, I simply just come here and I just mark this as 1 for the bullish side. The next thing I look at is my baseline, right? Baseline, again, where's my price relative to the baseline? So you can see my price is currently below the baseline because this is a red candle. Price is currently below the baseline in this case. I'm sorry, it's above the baseline currently, but it's still showing me a red candle, right? So it's currently above the baseline. So I simply just come here and make my baseline as 1. Now my SMI1 and my SMI2, again, it's the indicator below. So I'm going to zoom out a bit and this is the one below. So you can see the SMI again, it's a 2-line cross. This time around, the red is still above the green, which is representing a sell signal. But these signals are above my 0 line. So that's giving me one bearish signal for this crossover and one bullish signal for the fact that the signal lines are above 0. So I come into my Excel one more time and I'm going to mark 1 for the bear for bullish and give 1 to the bearish side. The next one is my DD. What is my DD saying? DD, I simply come down. Let's minimize this. The DD is the one directly below. So I'm going to maximize this so you can see my DD signal line is still below my 0 line, which is indicating a bearish or a sell signal. So I simply come down to my DD here and mark this as 1. The next thing is the Mark D1 and my Mark D2. So go back to my chart, minimize this, and open the Mark D setup. And you can see we've gone from green to red. And what I said, if you go from green to red, that is a sell. So you can see we're getting the sell signal on the weekly. However, the bar is still above 0, which is representing something more bullish. So what do we have? We have one bullish signal for MACD, and we have one bearish signal for MACD. So the next thing I'm going to take a look at is my TSI. So minimize. My TSI is this indicator right there. And you can see that we've gone from a positive signal and it has gone below my 0 line, which is currently on the negative side. So this is more of a bearish or a sell signal. So I come down to my Excel and I simply just mark TSI here as 1. And the last one is the ASH. And I go back to my chart. I'm going to minimize this. You can see my ASH is this one. It's a 2-line cross. You can see the green is still above the red. We never saw any crossover like we typically see if it was a bearish signal. So this is still a bullish signal in this case. So I simply just come down to my Excel and I mark my Excel here as 1. Now, at the end of the day, we sum up what the indicators are saying and see which one is favoring the most. And you can see that we're getting 16 bullish or buy signal. with respect to seven bearish or sell signal, which means that the bulls are now finally taking over this market, and we expect this market to go up in the next couple days or so. Well, remember, President Trump is in office, so we expect a lot of volatility in this market. So hope that makes sense. Again, I'm not going to dive too deep into a lot of explanation today. I just wanted to just show you guys a quick update, a quick market update of what I think is going on in the market and what direction I think the market is going, as I believe that the bulls have officially taken over this market compared to what I was saying prior to the inauguration. And you can go watch my other videos where I explained how I saw some various signals going into the inauguration, but now the sentiments have completely changed. Again, like I said, I'm not going to keep this too long. I'm going to keep it short and end it here. Again, this is your boy Cincy, aka Mr. Good Vibes, and let's make some small money together this year, even if it's just a little.